I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. Said he just came from a neighbor's house and he's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry and he's thirsty.
Need someone immediately.
When a 911 dispatcher in southern Utah picks up a call from a neighbor sounding genuinely shaken, they have no idea they're about to become the first person to hear what was happening behind closed doors. Because standing on that doorstep is a barefoot boy, duct tape still wrapped around his arms and legs, so malnourished he can barely explain what he's been through. And as officers rush to the home he escaped from, they quickly realize this isn't just a child asking for help. It's a rescue mission, and there may still be more kids inside.
We need to identify that house, and if there's 2 other kids there, we need to go do a security sweep of that house.
In the morning hours of August 30th, 2023, neighbors in a quiet Utah neighborhood captured something unsettling on camera. A barefoot boy wandering the streets, looking lost, weak, and completely out of place. Not long after, he approaches a nearby home and asks the neighbor to take him to the police station.
Yes.
Hi, I was just wondering if you could do 2 favors.
Well, what are they?
Taking me to the nearest police station. Well, actually, just one's fine.
What's going on, son? Have a seat there.
Trying to understand what's happening, the neighbor has him sit down, asks for his name, and immediately calls 911. And while dispatch stays on the line, the neighbors do what they can to keep the boy calm, offering him food and water, as they explain that he needs medical attention right away.
He's hungry and he's a young man. He said he was carrying his stocking feet. So he escaped.
We need the police here now.
They're on their way.
As police and paramedics arrive, the neighbors keep the boy in the safest place they can, inside their truck, trying to calm him down and get food and water into him while help takes over. But within minutes, the focus shifts from treating one child to figuring out what he ran from, because if he escaped from a house nearby, there's one question officers can't ignore. Are there more kids still inside? And as first responders coordinate at the scene, they begin narrowing down the address, preparing to head straight to the residence the boy came from and perform a sweep of the home. Not long after, officers pull up to the home the boy ran from. And at the front door, they're met by a woman who looks genuinely stunned to see police standing there.
184. Front door's off to the left.
Ring.
No, go.
Police officers, open up!
Got movement right here. Right there.
Contact.
Got movement.
Open the door!
Jodi, I need you to step out.
I have my turn.
That's great. Step out of the house.
No, I'm not gonna step out of the
Step out of the
house.
house. Step out of the house.
Whoa.
We're just gonna see if
Whoa,
anybody
whoa,
else.
whoa.
Is there anybody else home?
Wait a minute, how do you come to my house?
Right there.
As officers make contact with Jodi Hildebrandt, she immediately demands to know why they're there and how they can possibly enter her home without a warrant. But police aren't treating this like a routine visit, because a child has already escaped from this residence in restraints, begging for food, water, and help. And under exigent circumstances, when there's reason to believe someone inside may be in immediate danger, officers don't have the option to wait.
But that doesn't make sense. You come into my house and do what you want, and then you tell me you don't have a
No,
warrant?
we'll explain why we did.
But don't you have to have a warrant?
Not at this moment, we don't. We're here on exigent circumstances. And I'll explain it after this, after my sergeant and the officer are done clearing the house.
Jodi is removed from the home, and police begin an emergency sweep of the property, and almost immediately, they start finding things that confirm their worst fears: rope, a padlock, and then, deeper inside the house, they find another child, petrified, hidden away, and too scared to even speak.
Hey, you okay? Is this just you in here? I'm Sergeant Tobler. What's your name? I just have one. Where's your sister at?
Contact one.
You okay? Huh? You doing okay? You don't want to talk to me? Yeah, that's okay. Can you come with me though? We got Jodi out here. You know Jodi? She's outside with us. You take your time, bud. I'm in no hurry. I'm a police officer. Did you know that? I don't mean to hurt you at all.
After what officers just found, the next challenge isn't making an arrest. It's getting this child to feel safe again, because she isn't crying, she isn't yelling, she's frozen, too afraid to even speak. So instead of pressing her for answers, the officers do something completely different. They turn on music. They bring her food.
You're more than welcome to eat. You can eat all you want, sir. That's all you.
Even with music playing and pizza sitting right in front of her, she doesn't reach for it. Not because she isn't hungry. She's watching every movement, waiting for the moment something changes. So the officers don't rush her. They just stay close, keep their voices calm, and let her take control of the first safe decision she's had in a long time. And nearly 30 minutes later, she finally takes a bite. While one officer stays behind to keep her calm, the rest of the team continues clearing the house room by room. And the more they search, the more it becomes obvious this wasn't just a chaotic home. It was a place where control was built into everything, but there's still one person officers haven't located yet: the child's mother. And not long after, police finally find Ruby Frank. She's taken into custody, handcuffed, and arrested.
How are you? Alright, well, it feels good in here. So, hey, Ruby, at this time, I know we have said that you're already detained, but I'm going to be taking you back to the police department. Okay? So I'm going to pop up. See if I can fit through here.
You want to put on one of our vehicles?
Yeah, you want to. Okay, just place your hand behind your back for me. Perfect. And then, right now, I can put a finger in each of these, okay? And I'm just going to double up those so they don't tighten up on you on the way out there.
Ruby Frank is placed in the back of a patrol car and driven in for questioning. And what's almost more unsettling than anything she says is what she doesn't say. She's disturbingly quiet. No panic, no urgency, no questions about her kids, just silence. As officers drive her away from the home where everything was just uncovered. But Ruby isn't the only adult tied to what was happening inside that house. Not long after, police move in on the second person at the center of this case. Jodi Hildebrandt is taken into custody, and arrested. Within hours, Ruby Franke is brought into an interrogation room. But the moment investigators try to ask the most basic questions, where the children are, what happened inside that home, and why, Ruby doesn't explain. She doesn't defend herself. She doesn't even pretend. Instead, she gives them just 4 words. I want my lawyer.
I'm gonna.
It's yours if you want it. We'll say that. How's that?
We also have snacks if you need anything to eat. So I know I introduced myself to you earlier, but my name is Detective Bates, and this is Sergeant Tobler. We're just here to talk to you about kind of a few things involving your kids. So first, do you live down here, or? Or do you live up north? Do you want to talk to me about where you live or how many kids you have? So we just spoke with your husband and he said you guys have 6 kids. Are those all together? Are those all your kids?
I'll wait till I have a lawyer.
Okay. So you don't want to talk to us at all?
Ruby stays locked in, refusing to answer, refusing to explain, giving investigators nothing to work with. So with one interrogation going nowhere, they turn to the other person at the center of this, Jodi Hildebrandt. And unlike Ruby, Jodi actually talks. But the more she speaks, the clearer it becomes she isn't here to help them understand what happened. She's here to control the story.
Where'd you move from?
Utah County.
And how long were you up there for?
I'm a little nervous.
You're you know, to be honest with you, if I was sitting over there, I'd be a little nervous too. So don't worry about it. We're just here to talk, to get your side. And right now we're just asking you just typical questions, like how long you lived here, that kind of thing.
I watched too many detective movies.
How yeah?
Which one's your favorite?
Me too. You can't, honestly, I sit there and I'm married and I sit there and watch those with my wife and I say, like, we don't, that's not how we do it. That's not right. So there's some good ones out there, don't get me wrong, but most of them are probably a little off base. We're not as mean. I won't get up and beat you up. We don't do that.
We just want to get to know you a little, so if you just kind of want to share a little about yourself and what brought you down here. And
So I trust my attorney. He said, don't say anything. And I said, I have nothing to hide. And he's like, I know that, but just let me be there with you when we talk. So you guys seem nice people.
yeah.
I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not trying to be difficult. This is really, if you knew all the pieces, I think you'd have a lot of empathy for what's going on.
Jodi's interview doesn't go much further. On the advice of her attorney, she shuts it down before investigators can get any real answers. So at this point, police have 2 suspects in custody, and almost no explanation for how things inside that house reached this level. But there is one person detectives still need to hear from: Ruby's husband, Kevin Frank. And when he finally sits down in that interview room, he sounds just as stunned as everyone watching this.
I moved there in 2007 with my family, so
And how many?
17 years.
17. And how many kids do you have, Kevin?
I have 6 kids.
And what are their names?
Some of them are teenagers, 2 adults.
So are they all living with you, or
No, I haven't seen them for over a year.
any of them?
No, none of them.
For a year.
Over a year.
Okay.
I've been in a separation
From who?
from my wife and family.
What's your wife's name?
Ruby.
Ruby. So it's my understanding that at least home here in Kayenta and Ivans, have you been to that home?
No,
You've not been to that home?
no, I don't know.
I don't know what's anything that's been going on.
Like, this is good, man. Like, I would love to be able to help you out with this, and like, I'm seeing the light because I'm unaware of your involvement in what's really going on. So for you to say that you're unaware of the status of your kids kind of makes, I know that sounds kind of crummy to you, but it sounds kind of good to me. Like, who lives in that home with your, is it ex-wife? Is it currently a separated wife? Like, who lives in that home with your children?
To be honest, I don't know.
So how do you and Ruby communicate? Just through text, phone call?
Through text, and if there's anything considered an emergency, we agreed that we would communicate through a phone call.
Kevin Frank walks into this interview with no idea what police just found, and at this point, it's clear he has no real knowledge of what's been happening. He hasn't been told about the duct tape, the rope, or the condition his kids were in. So detectives finally spell it out, what his son looked like at the neighbor's door and what was inside that house. And instead of reacting the way you'd expect, Kevin's first concern isn't his children, it's Ruby.
Well, you're the custodial parent of these children. I don't see why we can't explain to you why we're involved. So I don't recall the exact time, but sometime before 11 o'clock today, we received a phone call from 911 on our dispatch that a 12 to 13-year-old boy was knocking on doors in a neighborhood asking for food and water, that he was severely emaciated, that he had...
What does emaciated mean?
Skinny, scrawny, malnutrition, not enough food, not enough water to sustain life. So he had...
I'm sorry, what?
He had duct tape on his extremities, on his hands, on his ankles, and those were covering rope burns that were used to tie him down. Take a second and think about what I just said. That's the condition of your son. Given that information, your son was taken to the hospital. A warrant has been applied and granted by the Department of Child and Family Services to remove. So no one right now is going to have access to these two children based on their physical condition. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Would you condone that behavior?
Would I condone that behavior?
That's my job. My job is to find out your knowledge of the treatment of these
based on your
precious
description,
children.
no. But again, I don't know the details, or I don't know what's going on. But as you described that sounds
Horrible. Disgusting. No human being should be treated like that.
What's going to happen with my wife? I love my wife.
Kevin looks at detectives and asks the question he still can't stop thinking about. What's going to happen to my wife? Well, I'll tell you, Kevin, Ruby Frank was charged with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse, and she was sentenced to up to 30 years in prison. And Jodi Hildebrandt was also charged with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse, sentenced to up to 30 years as well. But the real sentence in this case is the one those kids are going to carry for the rest of their lives.